What was that like? Did you come out in high school? Or
So, yeah, I came out in high school. I came out a couple months into my senior year of high school.
Okay.
I still had long hair. I still, I still dress the way I do today, boys jeans, boys t-shirts, things like that. That never changed. But my close friends really didn't care.
Yeah.
And really the people that I had surrounded myself with, I never really received any hate or backlash while I was in high school, which was awesome, especially because out in Hickory, you have your country folks that are out there. You've got, all of these small-minded people that are, A, B, and C. This is how we do things.
Mm-hmm.
We never had an allyship or anything like that. We never had any clubs where, they might now,
right.
but I graduated 11 years ago.
Right.
So, but it wasn't, for me it was easy.
Good. Okay.
So.
Yeah. No. Being a brown man, right? In the industry, there's a lot of things that I've had to deal with. So I can't speak personally from your standpoint, but there's a little bit of a I don't know. It feels like noise in the back of my head when I deal with certain things, certain things that guests or customers can say that may be backhanded compliments, or they may be just kind of left field things, or they say it in confidence in their group of people, and they say it very quickly, and then it just kind of creates this really weird tense moment where you kind of have to make the decision whether you're going to kind of stare them down, and talk to them about it, or if you're going to be the wiser of the two, try to make, a joke of it, what I'm saying?
Right.
Try to brush it off. Do you
take the high road?
Take the high road? Do you ignore it? So I guess my question is, has there been moments in working in the service industry where someone said some shit around you where you've been the fuck did you just say?
Oh yeah. There's definitely been times like that, but at the same time, is it worth me jeopardizing my job to create a hostile situation?
Mm-hmm.
Because in those manners, there's no easy way to go about it. There's no hey, I'm going to be nice. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk. No. If you're being a dick, you're being a dick.
Right.
Most of the time it's people call me he all the time. Use he, him pronouns all the time. If you're not being a dick about it and it's a genuine, you just misgendered me, I get it. If you know I'm a girl and you're doing it on purpose and you're being an asshole, that's when I have a problem. And
right.
I'll say something then. But if it's going to turn into some hostile, I'm dealing with a drunk guy, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's no different than talking to a wall to prove a point.
Right.
And that's just not... It's literally pointless.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and waste my breath to try to change your brain and the way it works for the 1 second that you're around.
Yeah. Because unfortunately, some people are just stuck in their ways.
Oh yeah,
and they're not going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had a situation. So I was working at Gray, and this was last year, behind the bar at Point, and our point and our front part of the bar is kind of the busiest part of it. And I had 3 guests that came in, we're 1-2 deep, and I kind of see this group kind of walking through the crowd, and as they get closer to me, I realize why, my eyes are, going towards it. In my head, I was like, man, that girl looks like she's had a rough night.
Okay,
she looks like she's had a rough night. Her hair was all over the place, and they just look hammered as fuck, and I'm like, I'm not gonna... not dealing with this, So they get closer, and it was a male, transgender, dressed as a female, whatever it may be, and it all dawned on me. But the main point is that this person, she was still fucking wasted. I mean, you ever seen people when they, you take, a shot and all of a sudden, their hair starts kind of, get, a little, frizzy. Then, the shirt starts getting unbuttoned. Before you know, their fucking makeup's running, and they just look like a fucking train wreck. You know what I mean? It happens just like that. It's just, fucking old cartoons and shit where it's just, bow, 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 bow. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you should go home.
You're a new person.
Right.
You
So
should have gone home an hour ago.
oh, easily, you know. So so the friends walk up, and it's like, I'm like, hey, what can I get you guys? And she's like very, I guess outside of herself, like just all over the bar, like, oh, look at you, you know, like just really kind of pouring it on kind of heavy. And I thought it was, you know, it was like funny and flattering and like laughing about it, you know. But they were kind of still taking a lot of my time up. Because they're like, oh, I don't know what I want. Like, maybe a lemon drop. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You know, all this other shit. And I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get kind of like, I'm a little kind of frustrated. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, hey, look, here's a menu. You know, you guys think about it. I'll be right back. So I come back, and now the woman in the group, like woman by birth, she is like, okay, so I'm going to have this, he's going to have this, and she's going to have this. And I'm like, okay. And I misspoke, and I said something like sir or something. I completely missed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was cool. Her other two friends were completely not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like I misspoke. I was like, yeah, you know, what, like, you know, sir, she, whatever the fuck. And they were like, it's she. And I'm like, whoa, I'm fucking bad.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like I did not mean to do that, you know, like at all. You know, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is like a constant thing that you guys have to continue to deal with. That made me very uncomfortable for that moment. It has to happen often.
Oh yeah. Oh, it happens frequently. But in the world and the society that we live in now, with all of these, you and I talked, Pryor and I talked about this at work one day. It was real slow when we were at Grain. And the guy, we were talking about something because it's LGBT. Okay. Mm-hmm. And now it's like LGBTQ, LMNOP, you know. And I was like, and Pryor actually asked me, he was like, what are all these other letters that are in the LGBT? I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, there was only 4 letters when I joined the club. I have no idea. And so like we joked at it, but like nowadays with all of these other, you know, subcategories of the LGBTQ community, it gets really hard to, you know, like with the they them pronouns or the he she or the he him she her. It gets really, I even have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
You know, and in that kind of a situation where you're in a high volume bar, you don't have time to be like, hey, what are your pronouns? What are your preferred pronouns? Because you just don't have the time. So what I've started doing in my life from now, like starting about a year ago probably, is everybody is they, everybody is them. Until they specify otherwise, it's what can I get you all?
Okay.
You know, not he, not her.
Mm-hmm.
It's
politically safe.
You're exactly. That's your gray area is they, them. Because that encompasses everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and then if they say something, oh no, it's her, or oh no, it's him, then you're good.
Cool.
It's kind of like asking the question, but quick, easy, to the point, and you don't have to actually ask the question.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I've told my dad that too, because he's there's a young person that comes around the house, and I haven't met them yet. My dad's met them a couple of times, but that's why I still use them, because my dad was like, well, they dress this way and they have a deeper voice and this, that, and the third. I can, you know, they dress like you do, but I don't know. And I was like, well, next time before you guys start drinking, you know,
right.
pull them aside and just be like, what are your preferred pronouns? Because it takes a lot of respect. They will show you a lot of respect for you taking that time. Just ask them, because that's important to them.
Just having the interest of saying it correctly.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, and it's small and minute like that. That's all it is. But yeah, so from now, like I said, about a year ago is when I started the they, them as a standard. Because I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to be the asshole in the community that's offending people in the community, you know? And as bartenders, you know, you guys have a platform to do things like that and misidentify, whether it's purposefully or not.
Right.
Not, you know, and 90% of the time it's not going to be on purpose, but you know, it happens just like Pryor had said.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's kind of like foot mouth. Oh my God, word vomit. Let me suck that back in,
Yeah.
and then it's
Yeah.
over, and then it's a situation that
Right.
people are angry, and then there's nothing that you can do, and especially when alcohol is involved, there's no
Can't really reason with that.
right.
No.
Can't reason with anybody.
Anyone
no matter
who's
what preference they are.
No.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, well, that's good. That's good knowledge for the future. If you're out there now, you know. I think I'll use that from this point forward because I do not want to run into that situation ever again
No, you don't want to get stabbed in the neck.
with a fucking stiletto by
Right.
a man. I don't.
No. By they them. They them.
By they
there we
them.
go.
I don't
See? There
exactly.
we go.
I don't want them to stab me in the neck with they stilettos. Where's all right? So, this is another question for you. This is kind of reverting back to what we were talking about earlier. Where is the most awkward place that you've been noticed in public from like your reality TV?
So there's two.
Oh, yes.
So the first one, it was shortly after I got home from San Diego. And I was walking through Greenbrier Mall, just shopping, minding my own business. I was with like a couple of friends, and we were, you know, just talking and walking by. And this girl screams from across the whole, like probably like 100 feet from me on the other side of the mall.
From the Cinnabon.
Right. And she's just like screaming. And then she starts sprinting towards me. And I'm like, she's like 13. And I'm like,
This bitch
what?
is gonna
I'm
tackle
like,
me.
oh my God. So she's like, and then I run into Spencer's. I'm like, she can't get in here. She's not old enough. She runs into Spencer's. And then she has like this weird shirt, but it's not like a sweater, but it's, I don't know. It kind of looks like a cardigan. But anyways, she has this, and she like rips it off. She has a tank top underneath, and she like rips it off and like throws it on the counter. She's crying, sobbing, and she wants my autograph. And I'm just like, and her mom's like breathing heavy, running after her. She's like, you can't be in here. And she's just like, oh my God, Sam, oh my God. And I was just like, I like awkwardly like signed my name, and I was like, please put your clothes back on because I don't want to be in Spencer's with you. And you took no. And then the other one was I was with my ex in the dressing room at Forever 21. And I'm sitting there and I'm holding her clothes, you know, she's trying on a whole bunch of stuff. And I have arms full of stuff. And this girl goes, hey, can I get a picture with you? And I'm like really? Like I'm looking at my arms, I've got like 25 hangers full of shit on my arms, and you decide now is when you want to take a picture with me.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I mean, sure. So I like set the stuff down, I take the picture, and then I'm just like, what the hell just happened? Like what? But like people have no couth.
Yeah.
They don't care. They really don't at all.
Like, you're on TV, so your life is my life now.
Right. And they think they think they know you, but like,
Oh, right.
no. No.
You find yourself with like a much tighter circle now that you came back.
So, I was explaining this to my girlfriend. Now, she lives in Oklahoma, and she has like a core group of like 6 people that she hangs out with. And so, like, if she's like, "Hey, I'm going out," it's probably one of those 6, or there's like a handful off the 6 that aren't really friends with all of the 6. And like, I know who she's with. Well, with me, I don't really have like this same group that I do everything with because I have a day job now. Right. I'm out of the service industry. It's probably the best decision I've made for my mental health ever. And so like all my friends, you know, not all my friends, but a majority of my friends still work in the service industry. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I work 8:30 to 5:30 or 8:30 to 4:30 every, you know, Monday through Friday. And then I want to go get drinks on a Friday night. That's why I'm at Grain half the time because my friends are working. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do, you know? And like, I mean, I have a handful of friends that don't work in service, but I just don't have that tight-knit of a group. And when you leave the service industry, you really lose that. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until I left Grain last October that, it's dysfunctional. And, it's probably not good for your liver. And it's probably not good for your heart or your brain. But you have a core group of people that you relate with and things like that you get to hang